I'm joined now by the great Mike Quick, the Hall of Famer. We welcome you in, Mike. How are you?
I'm well.
All rested after that trip? It's midweek now. We're looking at the New York Giants.
Let's look at the Giants. Yeah, I'm rested now.
We will, but first, let's take a look at the Eagles' upcoming schedule presented by NFL Ticket Exchange, powered by Ticketmaster. For the only 100% verified way to buy or sell NFL tickets, visit NFLTicketExchange.com. Mike, we've got a 3-game season right in front of us here. Third game on the road. We'll talk about the Giants in a moment.
Yep.
How much will these last 2 games, Raiders, Cowboys, Lincoln Financial Field, give me a little prognosis. How much is it going to mean?
I think it means a lot because not only do you want to win the division, you want to win the conference because you want to get that first round bye. You want to get home field advantage because that can be the difference. New quarterback, and I think these 3 games are going to be great for Nick, just getting into the whole swing of it, going into the playoff stretch. I think it's going to be great, but getting the home field in the playoffs, I think could be huge for this football team.
3-game road trip for the Eagles winds up on Sunday at MetLife Stadium. So we take a look at the opponent on Sunday, the struggling New York Giants. Our first look presented by Whip Lee. And Mike, the Giants, well, they're playing out the string. Let's be honest here. It has been a tumultuous season for them. Coaching changed, quarterback bench, quarterback reinstated. And then they go and they play Dallas last week, and it's 10-10 in the fourth quarter. And you think, well, maybe the Giants are going to have a little late season surge here, and then splat. Do they have anything left in the tank for the Eagles?
They have something, but I don't think it's enough. You know, the Giants are a struggling football team. They've struggled all season long. They've got 2 wins, I think. And the biggest issue that they have offensively is that they can't protect the quarterback. The offensive line for the Giants, they've had so many problems throughout the year. They don't run the ball well. They can't protect the quarterback. You can't play offense when you can't do those 2 things.
It's interesting because these have been criticisms of the Giants and problems the Giants have had for years. And you wonder, why have they not fixed these problems? Why have they not addressed the offensive line? And maybe they've addressed the offensive line.
Yeah.
Eric Flowers, a first-round draft pick, Justin Pugh. But they just haven't addressed it the right way.
I think since Tom Coughlin, this team has been going down in just a sinking ship since Tom Coughlin left the building. There was some talent there, but they haven't been able to replenish the talent. And I really believe it's because of the leadership, meaning that there's no longer Tom Coughlin. He's somewhere consulting with some other teams that are starting to grow and do better.
Jacksonville Jaguars, yeah.
Exactly. And they need a Tom Coughlin. Even if he's not on the sideline coaching every day, they need that type of experience around there, a guy who can look at the issues and see the future a little bit and be able to correct things that they're going to have problems with.
With all that said, Mike, I think back to week 3, Lincoln Financial Field. It took a 61-yard field goal from Jake Elliott to beat the Giants. They showed a lot of life there. I respect Eli Manning. They got the football out of his hands very quickly. The wide receivers made a lot of plays. Now, in that game, Fletcher Cox went down. Jordan Hicks was out for a while. Eagles were banged up on defense. I just think it's never going to be as easy as we think it's going to be.
Well, that was the turning point in their season, too.
And our season.
And our season. Yeah. So when that kick went through, the Giants started to really sink. And this team just kind of elevated and just started playing well. But if they can go to New York, take care of the Giants, this team's in a really good position, Dave, because those last 2 games, whether you win them or lose them, you're in a really good position.
All right, let's talk about the quarterback, Nick Foles, replacing Carson Wentz. And it's really, Mike, the first question, not about what Nick will do.
Yeah.
It's about what defenses will try to do to Nick. What is your expectation? Will they load up the box and blitz Nick Foles?
I think that's automatic. I think when you get into obvious passing situations, they want to try and get people to Nick Foles. He's not the mobile guy that Carson was. He's not going to create the problems that Carson created for teams, extending plays the length of time that Carson could. But what they'll start to realize is that Nick will pick you apart if given the opportunity. If they don't get to him, if they don't get hits on him, then Nick will pick him apart. He knows this offense really well. He's been in this system for a long, long time. Smart quarterback, and he can certainly run the offense, throw the football.
So the coaches have said, well, there won't be a lot of changes, but there will be some adjustments that need to be made.
Adjustments?
Well, so, I would imagine a little bit more protection.
Yeah.
A little buttoning up the protection, not relying on the quarterback to make the plays as Carson has done for 13 games.
The supporting cast has to be better because Nick can't get you out of the situations that Carson could get you out of. So, yeah, the offensive line, they've got to play better. You might see a little more max protection in two-man route type situations where you're trying to make sure that he gets protected. You've got your best two receivers running against their secondary and trying to get open. But to me, you have to really rely and lean on your run game a little bit more. And if they can do that, and I think they can, because I think Jay Ajayi is really starting to hit his stride with this offense running the football, I think that could be a huge difference. And the run game, coupled with the defense, realizing that they need to, at this point, pick it up a notch, that's the formula.
Mike, how do you defeat 8-man boxes with the run game? Is it just a matter of blocking it up?
It's a matter of blocking it up. And here's the thing about that, Dave. If you're able to crease an 8-man box, you're missing a man in that secondary. So if you can get Ajayi to the second level, then there's going to be a lot of trouble and a lot of those long runs for this offense if you can crease that 8-man front.
Anybody on the Giants defense scare you? Good front? Good run stoppers? Damon Harrison?
So I think their front seven is pretty good. But they're not getting it done. For whatever reason, they're not getting it done. Teams are moving the ball on them without any problem.
Mm-hmm.
And the concepts of this offensive passing game, I think the Giants have a lot of problems with.
The Eagles, obviously, in the driver's seat in the NFC playoff picture. Pressure on this football team. How will this team react to going out without the quarterback, an MVP caliber player who's having that kind of season, another big blow to this football team? How do you react? How do you rally around Nick Foles?
Well, I think you look at the glass, and I do, as half full, because I think when you have a situation like that, and they've, as you mentioned, they've had several of them, and that next guy, although this is a bigger situation of that next man in, I think everyone has to rally around him. I mentioned the defense playing better. The offensive protection. Everybody in my mind now, Dave, they've got to play better. They've got to pick it up a notch, especially when you start to get into the playoffs, because that's when teams will expose any little deficiencies that you have. So, to me, the onus is on everyone, all 53, 52 other guys, to pick it up.
Mike, the Giants, we may not see Eli Manning again. This might be the last time he plays against the Eagles. And as much as we all like to hate Eli Manning, he has won 2 Super Bowls. He has given the Eagles some fits over the years. And the Eagles have also had his number. Any problems, concerns that you have Eagles defense against the Giants offense?
Not really. I give a lot of respect to Eli. I think he's a very good quarterback. I think he's been solid throughout his career. But again, to me, it goes back to the big guys in the trenches. They've got some skilled players that can make plays, but if they're not winning at the line of scrimmage, they can't win. And I don't think the Giants can win at the line of scrimmage against Fletcher Cox and the rest of these guys that the Eagles are going to trot onto the field.
Love to hear that. That's our first look at the New York Giants, presented by Whip Flea. We've got more to get to here on Eagles 360 when we return. Mike and Ike, a progress report on center Jason Kelce, who's having just a terrific football season.